Imagine rejecting the chance to buy Google for a fraction of its future value. That single decision permanently changed the history of the internet. At the turn of the millennium, Yahoo was the undisputed gateway to the online world, while Google remained a tiny startup few people recognized. Few could imagine that these two websites would soon fight one of technology's most important battles for internet dominance. Yahoo believed it had already won the future, making every important decision from a position of confidence rather than urgency.
This sequence here is causing the kernel panic. If we can isolate the process, we might save the array. Are you sure it's not the sissy controller failing again?
One company possessed money, influence, and millions of users. The other possessed only an extraordinary idea and relentless determination. Nobody realized the biggest business mistake in internet history was already beginning, hidden behind ordinary meetings and overlooked negotiations. This story is not simply about competition. It is about a decision that reshaped the digital lives of billions forever.
To understand how everything changed, we must first return to the early days when Yahoo became the internet's brightest success story.
It's impossible to find anything useful manually anymore. We have to automate the search process somehow.
Instead of building a search engine, they organized websites into carefully arranged categories that anyone could browse with surprising simplicity. Their project quickly attracted thousands of visitors because discovering useful websites suddenly became faster, easier, and far less confusing. Word spread rapidly throughout universities and technology communities, transforming a simple student project into one of the internet's fastest-growing destinations. The founders soon realized their hobby had become a genuine business opportunity, demanding full-time attention and ambitious long-term planning. Investors recognized Yahoo's extraordinary potential and provided the funding necessary to transform the young startup into a rapidly expanding company. Within only a few years, Yahoo evolved from a student experiment into one of Silicon Valley's brightest success stories. Media outlets celebrated Yahoo as one of the defining companies leading the internet revolution into an entirely new era. Yahoo rapidly expanded beyond directories, becoming a complete online destination where millions spent hours every single day.
Every Yahoo search introduced more people to Google's remarkable technology, helping the young company earn trust with millions of new users. As Google's reputation grew, investors realized its search technology possessed value far beyond what most established companies recognized.
By the late 90s, Yahoo was no longer simply a website. For millions of people, it had become the internet itself.
Neither side realized these early discussions would eventually become one of the most famous missed opportunities in business history.
Every month brought millions of new users, strengthening Yahoo's position as the internet's most recognizable online destination. Instead of offering only search, Yahoo encouraged visitors to remain inside its growing ecosystem for as long as possible. Whether reading headlines, checking stock prices, or sending email, millions began every online session by visiting Yahoo first.
Yahoo became one of the internet's most valuable brands, symbolizing the limitless optimism surrounding the booming digital economy.
Wall Street rewarded internet companies generously, and Yahoo quickly became one of the market's biggest success stories.
Confidence inside Yahoo continued growing as executives believed their leadership position would remain secure for many years ahead. For millions of new internet users, opening Yahoo felt as natural as opening a front door to the online world. Every success reinforced the belief that Yahoo already understood exactly what internet users wanted from the future. Unlike Yahoo, Google's founders obsessed over solving one problem perfectly, instead of becoming the internet's destination for everything. Its homepage looked almost unfinished, but that simplicity reflected an entirely different philosophy about helping people find information faster. The new algorithm consistently produced more relevant answers, encouraging users to trust Google's results almost immediately after trying the service. People often arrived through Yahoo, yet quietly switched to Google whenever they wanted faster and more accurate search results. Inside Yahoo, executives remained focused on expanding their online empire, believing search was only one feature among many successful services. Few inside the company believed a tiny search startup could seriously threaten Yahoo's dominant position across the internet. Despite limited resources, Google's technology impressed investors who recognized extraordinary potential hidden beneath its humble appearance. Each passing month brought more searches, stronger algorithms, and increasing confidence that Google's approach could reshape the entire internet. Soon, Yahoo would receive an opportunity that seemed insignificant then, yet would become one of history's costliest business decisions. Although Yahoo dominated the web, delivering accurate search results became increasingly difficult as the internet expanded beyond human organization. Yahoo's famous directory worked brilliantly at first, but the internet was growing too quickly for people to categorize everything manually. Executives recognized search quality mattered more than ever, yet building a superior search engine internally would require significant time and resources. Meanwhile, Google continued improving its ranking technology, producing search results that users increasingly preferred over every established competitor.
In a remarkable twist, Yahoo chose Google's technology to power many of its own search results during the early years.
Millions searched through Yahoo every day without realizing Google's algorithms were quietly delivering the answers behind the scenes.
Yahoo's leadership understood Google was becoming increasingly important, prompting early conversations about whether the startup should be acquired. By the year 2000, Google was no longer an interesting experiment. It had become one of Silicon Valley's fastest-growing technology companies. Search traffic increased so rapidly that Google's small engineering team constantly expanded its infrastructure just to keep pace with demand. Users returned because Google consistently delivered cleaner, faster, and more accurate answers than many established internet portals could provide. Inside Yahoo, leadership could clearly see Google's technical advantage, but search still was not considered the company's highest strategic priority.
As Google's influence continued growing, Yahoo explored the possibility of purchasing the young search company before its value increased further.
Negotiations ultimately centered on valuation, with both companies viewing Google's future through dramatically different perspectives and expectations. Yahoo believed Google's asking price exceeded its immediate business value, making executives reluctant to approve such a significant investment. When negotiations ended without an agreement, neither company fully understood how profoundly that decision would reshape the future of technology. After the failed negotiations, Google focused entirely on improving search, believing long-term innovation mattered more than an immediate acquisition. Every improvement strengthened user trust, turning Google from an impressive search engine into a daily habit for millions worldwide. Yahoo continued expanding across news, entertainment, shopping, and advertising, believing its broad internet ecosystem would remain its greatest competitive advantage.
Their philosophies grew further apart. Yahoo wanted users to stay inside its portal, while Google wanted people to find answers and leave quickly. Instead of chasing every online service, Google invested relentlessly in making search faster, smarter, and more useful than anything available before.
Without expensive advertising campaigns, satisfied users introduced Google to friends, classmates, coworkers, and families through simple personal recommendations.
Search volume accelerated beyond expectations, confirming that Google's algorithm had become one of the internet's most valuable technological advantages.
Yahoo recognized search was becoming increasingly important, but catching Google's technical lead would require far more than incremental improvements. Industry attention gradually shifted toward Google as analysts began recognizing its extraordinary influence over the future of online search. The company Yahoo once considered purchasing was quietly becoming one of the most powerful businesses the internet would ever produce.
In August 2004, Google's public stock offering confirmed what many technology observers had already begun to understand.
Google entered public markets with enormous investor confidence, proving its search-focused strategy had become an extraordinary commercial success. Yahoo could no longer ignore Google's momentum because the startup it once evaluated had become a powerful public company. Determined to regain control, Yahoo invested heavily in developing its own search technology instead of relying on outside partners. Yahoo eventually replaced Google's search technology, hoping users would embrace its independently developed search experience once again. Despite Yahoo's improvements, millions had already formed lasting habits that kept bringing them back to Google's increasingly accurate search engine. Google never stopped improving. Every year its algorithms became faster, smarter, and increasingly difficult for competitors to match. Yahoo's leadership recognized the competitive gap widening, yet every strategic response arrived after Google had already moved ahead. Consumer behavior had fundamentally changed. For millions, searching the web no longer meant visiting Yahoo before going anywhere else. The balance of power had quietly shifted, and the internet's new leader was no longer the company that once defined the online world. While Yahoo struggled to recover, Google accelerated its innovation, expanding beyond search without losing focus on its core strength. Google's advertising platform transformed search into an extraordinarily profitable business, funding even greater investments in technology and infrastructure. Businesses quickly discovered that Google's advertising delivered measurable results, attracting millions of advertisers from every corner of the world. Yahoo remained profitable, yet its advertising strategy could no longer match the precision and effectiveness Google continuously refined. Every quarter widened the competitive gap, making Google's leadership increasingly difficult for Yahoo to challenge through traditional business strategies. As competition intensified, Yahoo faced growing pressure to make bold strategic decisions that could restore its fading market leadership. Frequent leadership changes created uncertainty, making it increasingly difficult to maintain a consistent long-term vision for the company's future.
Each new leadership team introduced fresh priorities, but constant strategic shifts prevented Yahoo from building sustained momentum against its strongest competitors.
Yahoo continued redesigning its portal, while Google concentrated on improving the experience users valued most, finding information quickly. By the end of the decade, the internet had chosen its new leader, leaving Yahoo searching for answers that arrived far too late. Even as Google pulled further ahead, Yahoo still possessed valuable assets that attracted the attention of the world's largest technology companies. In early 2008, Microsoft made an ambitious proposal to acquire Yahoo in one of technology's biggest takeover attempts. Microsoft valued Yahoo at approximately $4 to $4.6 billion, offering shareholders a significant premium over the company's market price. Yahoo's leadership believed the company was worth substantially more, choosing to reject Microsoft's offer despite growing competitive pressure. The decision surprised investors, many of whom questioned whether Yahoo could realistically recover without accepting such a generous offer. As economic conditions weakened and competition intensified, Yahoo's market value steadily declined while uncertainty continued growing inside the company. Yahoo also explored opportunities beyond search, yet several important technology investments failed to produce the transformational growth executives hoped for. Reports suggest Yahoo once considered acquiring Facebook, but negotiations never resulted in a completed agreement as the platform continued expanding independently.
Meanwhile, newer technology companies moved faster, capturing emerging markets before Yahoo could establish meaningful leadership in those rapidly evolving industries.
Years of missed opportunities had finally transformed the internet's former leader into a company struggling to define its place in a dramatically different digital world. By 2012, Yahoo remained one of the internet's best-known brands, yet its influence had faded dramatically from its peak years. Mayer immediately launched ambitious efforts to modernize Yahoo's products, attract engineering talent, and rebuild the company's technological reputation. Several Yahoo services received attractive redesigns, improving user experience while attempting to reconnect the company with a rapidly changing internet audience. Despite visible improvements, rebuilding public trust proved far more difficult than redesigning products or refreshing the company's corporate image. Competitors continued expanding at extraordinary speed, leaving Yahoo constantly responding instead of defining the future of internet technology. The mobile revolution fundamentally changed internet usage, rewarding companies that adapted quickly while making recovery increasingly difficult for Yahoo. Although Yahoo still generated billions in revenue, investors increasingly questioned whether the company's turnaround strategy could truly succeed. Years of determined effort slowed the decline, but they could not restore Yahoo to the dominant position it once proudly commanded. Eventually, another historic decision arrived, bringing Yahoo's remarkable journey as an independent internet giant closer to its final chapter. Just as Yahoo prepared for a new future, another crisis emerged that further damaged public trust in the company. Investigators uncovered evidence that Yahoo had suffered one of the largest known data breaches ever reported at that time. The breach affected billions of user accounts, raising serious concerns about security, corporate oversight, and consumer confidence worldwide.
Global headlines intensified public scrutiny, turning Yahoo's already difficult recovery into an even greater challenge for company leadership.
As acquisition discussions continued, the newly disclosed security incidents complicated negotiations and influenced the final terms of the agreement. In 2017, Verizon completed its acquisition of Yahoo's core internet business, ending an extraordinary chapter in technology history. The company that once defined the internet would no longer operate as the independent pioneer millions had known for decades. Although ownership changed, several Yahoo services continued serving millions of loyal users across the world long after the acquisition. The buildings remained, the brand survived, yet the company that once led the internet had become part of technology history. Yahoo's transformation reminds us that success alone never guarantees survival when innovation begins to slow and confidence replaces curiosity. Yahoo's story is remembered not because it disappeared, but because its decisions permanently influenced the direction of the modern internet. Rivalry proved that superior technology eventually outperforms market leadership when companies stop challenging their own assumptions. Business schools still examine Yahoo's decisions because they demonstrate how quickly leadership can disappear in fast-moving technology industries. Today's technology companies continue studying Yahoo's successes and failures while shaping products that define the internet's next generation. Google's extraordinary rise became possible because relentless innovation continued even after competitors believed the battle had already been won.
Ironically, millions still use Yahoo every single day, often without realizing how influential the company once truly was.
Services like Yahoo Finance, Yahoo Mail, and Yahoo News continue helping users worldwide, preserving an important part of the company's remarkable legacy. Few companies have experienced such an extraordinary journey from pioneering innovation to becoming a cautionary tale for future entrepreneurs. Yahoo changed the internet forever, yet its greatest contribution may be the timeless lessons it left behind for every technology company. Looking back, Yahoo's decline was never caused by one decision alone, but by years of strategic hesitation and misplaced priorities. Yahoo believed people wanted destinations. Google understood they simply wanted the fastest path to reliable information every single time. Technology leaders today study Yahoo because innovation must constantly challenge even the companies already standing at the very top. The internet continues evolving faster than ever, rewarding organizations willing to reinvent themselves before competitors force change upon them. History repeatedly shows that today's market leader can quickly become tomorrow's forgotten name without relentless innovation and clear long-term vision. Yahoo inspired an entire generation of internet pioneers whose contributions helped shape the digital experiences billions enjoy every single day. Future entrepreneurs often discover that understanding failed companies can be even more valuable than studying successful ones alone. The internet never stopped changing, and the companies that adapted fastest ultimately defined each new generation of technological progress. Yahoo's greatest legacy may not be what it built, but the timeless reminder that success should never replace curiosity and continuous improvement. Every great technology company now writes its own future, while quietly standing on lessons businesses like Yahoo learned the hardest way. Yahoo's journey reminds us that leadership is never permanent, especially in an industry where innovation moves faster than certainty. Millions still remember Yahoo with nostalgia because it introduced an entire generation to the possibilities of the World Wide Web. Its remarkable rise, difficult decline, and enduring legacy continue teaching lessons that remain surprisingly relevant decades later. Every entrepreneur eventually faces difficult choices, but history rewards those willing to question today's success before tomorrow's competitors inevitably do. Yahoo may have lost the search war, yet its influence remains permanently woven into the history of the modern internet. From college students with an idea to one of history's greatest business lessons, Yahoo's story will never truly be forgotten. The internet continues evolving, but every generation still inherits the lessons left behind by pioneers who shaped its earliest chapters. Next, we'll uncover how Adobe Flash dominated the internet before security problems, smartphones, and modern standards brought its remarkable story to an end.
If you enjoy exploring the untold stories behind technology's biggest successes and failures, you're in the right place.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more technology documentaries, and I'll see you in our next story about Adobe Flash.